Welcome back to our Dead Sea Scrolls series. In our last episode, we witnessed the story of this amazing discovery. Today, we delve deeper into the contents of these scrolls, learn about the mysterious world of the Qumran community, and reveal how they changed our understanding of the Bible and early Judaism. Get ready for an intellectual adventure through 2,000 years of time. One of the most astounding discoveries of the Dead Sea Scrolls is the remarkable stability of the biblical text over 2,000 years. Take the Great Isaiah Scroll, for example. This 2,200-year-old manuscript is over 95% verbatim identical to the medieval Masoretic text. This discovery revolutionized biblical criticism. Prior to the discovery of the Dead Sea Scrolls, the huge time gap between the original composition and the oldest known manuscripts led scholars to question whether the text had undergone significant corruption or deliberate modification. The Dead Sea Scrolls, especially Isaiah, directly refute these skeptical theories by providing ancient copies that are extremely similar to later versions. While the scrolls confirm the overall textual stability, they also reveal some important variations. For example, in Deuteronomy 32 verse 8, the Masoretic text reads according to the number of the sons of Israel, while the Dead Sea Scrolls and the Septuagint read according to the number of the sons of God. This difference reflects an important theological shift. Sons of God suggests a worldview in which God distributes nations to divine beings, the Holy Council concept, while Sons of Israel is widely considered a later theological revision to avoid suggesting multiple deities under God's authority. Another example is Deuteronomy 32 verse 43, where the Dead Sea Scrolls and the Septuagint present a fuller version. Rejoice, O heavens, with his people, let all the gods bow down before him, while the Masoretic text is significantly shorter, omitting the part about all the gods bow down before him. This omission appears to be a pruning of the text to enforce strict monotheism. The three great ancient biblical manuscript traditions of the Dead Sea Scrolls, the Masoretic text, and the Septuagint together reveal the intricate history and evolution of the biblical text. Comparing these textual traditions reveals significant differences, from minor spelling changes to the presence or absence of entire passages. Certain Dead Sea Scroll readings agree with the Septuagint and against the Masoretic text, suggesting that the Septuagint, though a translation, sometimes preserves older Hebrew readings than the later standardized Masoretic text. This shifts the perception of the Septuagint from being a mere translation to a potential witness to an earlier form of the Hebrew text. The Qumran community referred to themselves internally as Yad, meaning union or community. The rule of the community provides us with a detailed description of the group's dualistic doctrines, organizational structure, and behavioral norms. Their theological framework was strongly dualistic, viewing the world as strictly divided between the forces of light and dark, good and evil. They believed that Israel was under divine judgment and considered themselves to be the true remnant of Israel, awaiting imminent vindication at the end of the world. The practices of the Qumran community included a strong focus on ritual purity, as evidenced by the numerous ritual baths, mikvot, found at Qumran. They explicitly rejected Jerusalem temple worship, perhaps believing it to be corrupted. They followed a strict interpretation of Jewish law that often diverged from other contemporary Jewish groups and maintained a highly disciplined, hierarchical structure that required strict obedience from lower-ranking members to their superiors. The scrolls also reveal their unique messianic expectations, particularly of two messiahs, the priestly Messiah of Aaron and the kingly Messiah of Israel. This pluralistic vision of a messianic figure, priest and king, stands in stark contrast to the singular Davidic messianic figure prevalent in other Jewish traditions and early Christianity. This provides important historical context for understanding why Jesus' claims might resonate with some groups and be rejected by others, suggesting that the messianic landscape of the time was more diverse and complex than is often assumed. The War Scroll describes a 40-year eschatological conflict between the sons of light and the sons of darkness. The document describes in detail the course of the apocalyptic war, including the tactics, weapons, and angelic armies involved. This concept of eschatological warfare reflects the Qumran community's strong belief in the impending final judgment and their role as God's chosen people in this cosmic conflict. Among the non-biblical texts found at Qumran, the Book of Enoch and the Book of Jubilees appear particularly frequently, suggesting that these texts were highly valued and considered sacred by the communities that held the scrolls. The Book of Enoch contains a rich apocalyptic literature that describes Enoch's journey through heaven, the story of the fallen angels, and detailed end-time prophecies. These contents provide a valuable resource for our understanding of apocalyptic thought in Second Temple Judaism. The Book of Jubilees retells the stories of Genesis and Exodus, but with more legal details and historical supplements. The book places particular emphasis on the importance of the calendar, advocating the use of a 364-day solar calendar rather than a 354-day lunar calendar. The copper scroll found in Cave 3 is unique not only because of its material, but also because of its content. It looks like a detailed list or treasure map recording the locations of hidden treasures. The document lists 64 locations and describes gold and silver treasures buried in various places. Although scholars still debate whether these treasures actually existed, the Copper Scroll provides us with a unique perspective on economic life during the Second Temple period. A large number of poems and hymns, including collections of Thanksgiving poems, have also been unearthed in Qumran. These documents reveal the rich spiritual life and poetic tradition of the Qumran community. These poems often express personal spiritual experiences, including gratitude to God, repentance for sin, and the expectation of eschatological redemption. They provide valuable information for our understanding of personal religious experience during the Second Temple period. The Qumran community created a unique genre of biblical commentary called Pesherim. These commentaries adopt the Pesher method of interpretation, arguing that the prophecies of ancient prophets were fulfilled in their time. For example, the Habakkuk commentary interprets the prophecy of the prophet Habakkuk as a prophecy against the Romans and identifies the evil men as religious leaders who were hostile to the Qumran community. This method of interpretation provides insights into how the Qumran community placed itself at the center of biblical prophecy. While scholars generally agree that there was no direct connection between the Qumran community and early Christians, the scrolls shed light on the broader Jewish religious context in which Christianity arose. The Qumran documents reveal a detailed snapshot of Jewish beliefs and practices in the 1st century AD, providing important historical and religious context for the rise of Christianity. Similarities exist between the beliefs and practices outlined in the Qumran texts and those of early Christians, including comparable rituals of ablutions, communal meals, and shared property. Parallels also exist in terms of organizational structure, such as the division of the Qumran sect into 12 tribes led by 12 chieftains, which parallels the structure of the early church led by the 12 apostles. These commonalities are often understood to stem from shared traditions within Judaism rather than to indicate a direct historical connection. The scrolls also provide important insights into the diverse messianic expectations prevalent in Judaism in the 1st century AD. The Qumran community, like many other Jewish groups, was awaiting a Messiah, but uniquely, they were expecting 2 Messiahs. This discovery highlights that there was no single, universally agreed-upon vision for the Messiah during this period, which helps explain why the message of Jesus resonated with some groups and was rejected by others. Today we explored the rich content of the Dead Sea Scrolls in depth, from the amazing stability of the biblical texts to the unique beliefs of the Qumran community, to the significance of these discoveries for our understanding of the background of early Christianity. These 2,000-year-old documents not only preserve ancient wisdom, but also reveal to us the diversity and complexity of Judaism during the Second Temple period. They tell us that the ancient religious world was far more colorful than we imagined. In the next episode, we will witness how modern technology has revolutionized the study of the Dead Sea Scrolls, especially how artificial intelligence has changed our understanding of the age of these ancient documents. and how the latest archaeological discoveries continue to expand our knowledge. Stay tuned to our channel and don't miss the next exciting chapter of this fascinating journey of exploring ancient civilizations.